Hi, Kate.
Hi, Marty. And hello, listener.
Hello, listener.
Welcome to Romance Writers Therapy.
I'm Marty V, and that's Kate Pryor.
Ooh.
And your listener.
Did we not do that last episode? Did we
We
just do it?
We are so loosey-goosey on how we start this. We've
been taking our time getting back into the swing of things.
Yeah. I think the most important thing that we do at the beginning of every single episode is be shocked that we've started.
Yeah, I think that's really important.
That's really our intro. Is like, oh my gosh, we are recording and we don't know what we're doing. So.
Every single time we're like, "Are you recording? I'm recording. Are you recording?" I could just make a big compilation. I want that as a ringtone every time now. We've done that.
You really should. It would be the most like dull 20 minutes of everyone's life.
No, it's like it should be your voicemail.
That's what I want. Yeah.
I thought you said ringtone.
If I receive a voicemail, like someone like I hear, "Are you recording? I'm recording."
Yeah.
Yeah, I want that.
Just like I don't know. Oh. All right, Marty, tell me how you've been. Tell me what you've been working on. What are your plans for the year?
Ooh.
Now that we are almost firmly in Q2.
Holy crap, we totally are. My plans for the year were drastically changed from what I thought I would do at the end of last year.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that, as I've said in the episode before, like, it was a really good move for my mental health, and I'm not against it. And so my plans for this year are to finish writing the Christmas novella, to finish editing Remy and Alicia's story, and to get started on Brooks's story. Also to release Hazel and Elijah.
Ooh, I can't wait for that. You had like a little prequel story for them that was like their lost leader that you're gonna put out.
Yeah. That's my reader magnet right now. So like anyone who's on my newsletter or signs up for my newsletter can get that. And then I had another thought. My other plan is to do like free promos. They are already planned throughout the year, and then I just have to set them up. Something that concerns me is that a lot of times the administration things of just like taking time to do things is where I get hung up.
Yeah.
Even though the tasks get done and they are obvious evidence of productivity, it doesn't feel as productive as like actually writing words. And I think it just comes right down to like writing words is actually like fun. So that's what I'm doing. That's what I'm doing, Kate. That's what I'm doing. Do you know I've never done a contest?
A contest? No. Yeah, like no, you were in the Georgia romance writers.
Oh, can you enter in that? Yes. Okay. I have done writing contests and placed, which is awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. I still like, because I got runner up, right?
Yeah.
And like, that's cool. Like, don't be dumb, Marty. No. That is cool. Yeah. Like,
it's hard to let go of like wanting first place when you get second, though.
I know. Well, and then also like, I just think my first couple chapters were really good and they should have won. Anyway.
Oh, I love it. But I think your first chapters on that was really good too. No, for real. Like when I was in high school and like I was part of the film club and we did a little film festival because we were kind of like bringing the film club like back to life because like it had kind of disappeared after the old film teacher had, I don't know, retired or whatever. And then it took them a couple years to find a new film teacher. But besides the point, I remember we did a little film festival and I put in this little student film that I was like so proud of. And like, the thing is, I had such an ego about being like just this class because the teacher was like, you know what? You always work really quietly in the corner. You can do whatever you want. You can do that whenever you want. Like you can skip other class. He didn't tell me to skip other classes, but I did. He was like, you can come in here during your lunch and work on your projects if you want to, and you can work on them after school. You know, like that's what I did. Like it was just me and this other girl, and we were always like working on this stuff. Like skipped a bunch of gym and music classes, and then the music teacher
That's hilarious.
Anime. I'm sorry, I'm going on like the tangent of tangents. I was like really up in my own ego because I was like, I can do whatever I want. And then like my film got like second place in like the little festival, and I cried my heart out. I was like, I lost? Who are you kidding? Like, it was insane.
Well, but like also like that feels so much more public than me losing not losing. I did get second place, for heaven's sakes. But like this is the first time I've expressed disappointment out loud about it. You know, like I've been able to like just accept that it's the way it was and it's fine.
Yeah.
But your story feels very public and it makes me feel vulnerable.
Aw.
But yeah, okay. So, but like I've never done like a contest where like readers can like, you know, comment and share and get a free copy of my book. Like I've never done anything like that, which feels really silly. I think so what I'm nervous about is like I'll be like contest and no one will like respond.
Oh my god.
Okay.
That did happen. That has happened.
Okay. Thank you for saying that out loud, because I'm like, look at how this like doesn't happen to anyone and it would happen to me sort of thing, which is not normally a like mindset that I have. It's just like I was able to identify that was my nerves, and I was like, people react to contests all the time. It's fine.
It was actually this past Valentine's Day.
Okay.
I had 5 audiobook codes, and like I was still like, it was Valentine's Day, it was February, so I was still kind of scrambling with like the move and like all everything. So I was like, you know what, I need to get rid of these codes. I don't want them to just sit here. So I was like, I'm going to host a little giveaway. It was very slapdash. Like I did not do enough prep for it, and I did not share it enough, I think is a big thing. I think giving it enough time and sharing it is very crucial to getting more eyes on it. And so I had 5 codes to give, or I had 6 codes to give away, and only 5 people actually like did the thing or like followed the rules and commented on the post. And so I was like, so there's only 5 people. But you know what? I made a good friend out of it. So I'm like really happy with
that's
it.
awesome. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's such a good point. Because like what I'm hearing, like, yeah, okay, so it was 5 people, but it actually was like community building, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And like that's what it's supposed to be for. I feel like I'm so far away from like the social media place that like, I don't know. I don't even know. Like I just feel really far away from it.
You're not really active on
anything.
Like you're sometimes on Instagram. I've been seeing like you in the Canva, in our shared Canva account.
Thanks. But it's been stuff that I'm like really doing for real estate instead of.
There is a lot of real estate stuff.
Yeah, I know. Again,
you're good. You're good.
Just tell me. Every time I use it for something other than writing, I'm like, I'm gonna get in trouble.
No,
it's gonna be
literally.
Mad at me.
I don't care.
Okay, good. Thank you. I really appreciate access to it.
Yeah, no, of course. Like, I don't use it 24/7, so it's kind of like dumb to me that like, you know.
That's a good point.
I can't share it with like more people, you know? Because like, I don't know. It's still got a lot of really great tools on it.
It does.
I'm not really big in their like whole AI push on it, but like, you know, I'm just kind of ignoring those features right now.
I even used it for like a flyer for the kids' school, right? And like I was trying to do it on Word. I'm like, this is a fucking nightmare. I just need to be able to drag and move all of this stuff around, right?
Oh, Word is so tough.
So it was really handy to be able to do that.
No, I totally get you. We were going to talk about planning out our years.
I mean, I kind of ran right through the topic.
You could.
I was just like, you
like, let me skip through this.
To do, and I'm like, let me get to that finish line. What do you have planned for the next 3 quarters?
3 quarters, God. I'm gonna finish my werewolf book. I'm gonna get some beta readers to read it and tell me what's wrong with it. Then I'm gonna get a developmental edit on it. As the timing is, the developmental edit may just happen before the beta reading, which is like not how you're supposed to do it, but just kind of how it's gonna work out, I think.
I have done those 2 things simultaneously.
Yeah.
So yes, I would love to be able to beta read, like receive beta read input, make changes, and then do dev edit. But like sometimes the timing doesn't work out perfectly, and there's still something great gained from having all that information at once.
Yeah. Werewolf book. I'm kind of like, I have a document where I'm putting all my Kathy book stuff for like Kathy the Harpy for my Clouds and Cubicles series. I don't have, I'm trying to like take the pressure off of that for me and like not give it a solid due date so that I don't have to, I feel like whenever I feel obligated to do a thing or I feel the deadline approaching, that is like the quickest way to make me stop doing a thing.
Yeah, I relate to that. And it's not even that like I'll stop doing a thing. I will then stop wanting to, but I'll force myself to.
And then it just becomes like a big chore.
That's terrible. Yeah.
Yeah. That's kind of it. I have like a little 3 short stories in one.
Have you told me about this?
I might have mentioned it because I had one thing was it's all various kind of explorations of the size difference trope, and one of them it's a halfling and an orc, and like halfling like the hobbits in fucking Lord of the Rings. Yeah. And then
you've already written that short story.
I've already written that one, and then I was like, I would like to put this out into the world, so I'm gonna add 2 more short stories to it, and then I need to write the other 2 stories first. And I have one planned, and then I have kind of some ideas for like the third one. I don't know. It's vastly unfinished, but like this is the hope is to I'll come back to it and like get it out there at some point.
I really like the idea of like the 3 short stories with the same trope. Like that sounds really fun.
Yeah, and that way it's like not like a very skinny little book. I always feel bad that so many my books are just so skinny. I'm gonna put out a big beefy book.
Okay, so like Mom and I were talking about this.
Okay.
And like I was telling her that I feel really weird about like the fact that Hazel and Elijah is only like 55,000 words, right? And I'm like, and it like when I think about going and making it beefier, I'm like, the story is solid. Like the pacing's good. Like the story's solid. Like I'm sure I could add a little bit because I tend to underwrite, but like I wouldn't want to go too much bigger. Right? And I'm like, but like,
I mean,
why do I feel so weird about it being so small? And I think what it is that like authors will write these gigantic books and then they'll be like, look at how big this book is. Oh my gosh, I wrote all this, right? And like, I didn't mean to say that in quite such a snotty voice. I am clearly feeling attacked. but like, it makes it feel like if you're not putting out like a giant book that you don't have anything to brag about, right?
Yeah.
So like no one holds up a book and is like, look how small this thing is. It is such a concise story. I did like such a good job with this. There's no fluff, right? Like and so like you talking about your skinny little books, like it is a weird feeling to have, right? Don't you agree that like that the book feels less braggy because it's not so big?
Yeah, it feels like I'm not a real author because I don't have like a big book to show for it, you know?
Yeah.
I have these dinky little books.
Well, and then like I had somebody call Just Fake Married a novella, and I'm like, it's like 63,000 words. It's not a novella, it's a novel. Like it's solidly a novel, right? It's a short one, but anything above 50,000 words is a novel. And so like, I know people are going to call Hazel and Elijah a novella, and I just want to be like, it's not. But like, that's a really weird thing to like, you know, die on a hill for, right? Like,
yeah,
so,
it's...
yeah. I get what you're saying. Like, I get your feelings.
And like, the thing is, I've been trying to write for like, since the 7th grade, I want to say, you know? I kind of bookmark it in my head that the day when I really committed to writing was, you know, like I have my little origin story. I was staying home sick and I pulled out this computer from the basement or the attic and I booted it up myself and I assembled all the pieces, you know, like, cause like, you know, there's like the tower, then there's the monitor and the keyboard. Like I felt very techie assembling all that in 7th grade.
I understand that feeling. Yeah.
You know, like I plugged it in myself. It's like you plugged 3 things in together. Congrats.
Yeah, but you did it yourself. Just a couple years before that, you couldn't make your own PB&Js. Okay. So like, you did it yourself.
Oh my God.
Take your accomplishment. You're welcome.
Oh, it is so hard to feel good about techie things because everyone in my life is like, I'm so good at really good. My parents are both programmers and Austin's a IT service guy and like my brother's also a programmer.
Yeah. That is not the group to feel like you are exceptionally techie with, that's for sure.
Oh, no. I said Wi-Fi cable one point in my life when I was talking about the Ethernet, and I forgot the word for it. I've never lived it down. I think my parents have it, like, tattooed on their heart.
That's so funny. Oh, tell me you were wrong, though. They understood. You communicated.
They understood me, but I get ridiculed for it still.
That's hilarious. But okay, so
yeah,
your origin story.
Where I was going. So I've been writing forever, and I've been writing these really massive stories. Like, I used to write 70, 100,000, 130,000 word things, and, like, you know, incomplete still at, like, those word counts.
Yeah. But, like, how much of that was because you would let the story meander or the character meander, and, like, it didn't actually have to be that big? And, like, sometimes stories do have to be that big.
I don't know that I've ever felt like I let my stories meander. I do feel like I sometimes don't build up to the dramatic... I'm sorry, I gotta defend my shelved projects. I don't meander.
I don't meander. I have never made a mistake in writing, ever.
Never. I pace perfectly. I probably somewhere, like, probably could be tighter. I think it's one of those eternal questions of, like, could this be a better first chapter? And I just don't know what would be a better first chapter. God, like, when I was on, like, querying to agents, that was, like, a question that fucking has warped my brain and, like, made going back to some of my shelved projects really difficult. Because I have this idea that there's this perfect opening chapter that can, you know, like, that will seduce an agent, you know, or any reader. And it's like, no.
Yeah.
The opening it does not have to be perfect. And it is so brief.
It's so subjective, too, because, like, it's not going to be perfect for everybody, right? Like,
yeah.
So I'm rereading Six of Crows, and the beginning is pretty slow. Like, she drops you right into the world, but, like, man, it's really pretty slow. And, like, I remember being pulled in pretty quickly. I think it was, like, the second or third chapter, and I was totally pulled in, right? This time reading through it, I feel more, I don't know, distance from it. Like, I feel more apprehensive about it. Like, and I know it's going to happen. I know it's part of the problem, right? But, like, even for me, the beginning of the story, how compelling it is, has changed. Does that make sense? Like, from one reading to another, like, no one is going to, like, there's not going to be a universe where everybody looks at a chapter and is like, that's perfect. That's everything it needs to be. Like, some people are going to have something to say here or there. And, like, I just think that it's so important that we make ourselves happy with these things.
Oh, absolutely.
But okay, so I keep on cutting you off, and I'm really sorry.
No, you're good. That is
what I'm doing tonight. So, okay.
God, I cannot remember what I was talking about.
Well, we were talking about meandering stories. You're writing your 3, you know what? Let's go right back to the origin. You're writing your 3
dinky little books.
Yes.
I used to write bigger books. And like, but they were incomplete. And so, and I remember, because, like, I took a couple of writing classes, and I really wish that I'd, like, tried to write earlier. I think I was really afraid of, like, the idea that I would reveal to myself that I was not a good writer if I took an actual class. But also, like, at the same time being incredibly pretentious and being like, I don't want to have to, like, work with other people.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, that's just, like, an original move, though, right? Like, to, like, leave someone before they can leave you, right? Like, that's
the most original move.
Exactly.
You can't tell me I'm not good at this if I don't participate.
Yeah, you can't hurt me if I don't care, right?
Yeah. Like, oh my god. 100%.
Serious.
But okay, but, like, when I finally did, and, you know, the professor was like, oh my god, so the short story is, like, the perfect way to learn how to, like, really up your writing skill, and, like, because you can do so many of them, and, like, it's such a microcosm of, like, larger stories, and that doesn't make any sense. But, like the way I phrased it doesn't, like, I don't think I actually added anything to the conversation. But, like, you get it. And
I do.
I kind of dismissed it at first, like, I don't want to write short stories. And then now it's like, this is all I do is write short stories. And that, I feel like I'm struggling how to scale back into a larger story and feel like I have enough time to do everything I want, but also like convince myself that I'm not dragging down the moving, the action, the plot, like all the emotion, because I want to take time to explore more things that I would in a shorter story.
Well, and I think that it just depends on like how many elements you have.
Oh, absolutely.
Right? Because like if I want to beef like a story up and add some words, like if I wanted to add like 10,000 words, like, okay, I need a new subplot to add. Right? But like then it becomes like, does this serve the original story by adding the subplot? And does it serve the original story by adding the subplot? And also like, is the subplot like entertaining enough to give it credit here? Right? Like, I don't ever want to add that character. Like, you know that POV character where like every time they come on, you're like, oh my God, not them again. Right? Like, and you're like zooming, like just breezing through their POV as much as possible because they're the dullest character of the book, right? And I don't want to ever add that. Does that make sense? Like, if I'm going to make an addition like this, I want it to serve.
Yeah, I think that's one of the subjective things, though, is that, like, something that really bores you to read might really excite someone else. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Well, and, like, I am, like, the worst about becoming disinterested so easily, right? Like,
oh my God.
I'm so bad at it.
Same. Kate. No, I know what you mean. I want to tell you. So Austin likes to finish a TV show when he watches it. Or he likes to finish a movie when he watches it.
Uh-huh.
Where I'm going with this is that I don't.
Ever? Or like you just don't feel committed like you have to?
I'm really bad at finishing things. Most of the books that I've been interested in and have tried to read, I have so many DNFs, not because they were bad books, but just because I got distracted and then I just didn't pick it up again. And then it's like, oh, I read half of that. And then it's like all these TV shows, it's like I watched half of that and then I was like, oh, I just remembered this other thing I want to watch with you. Can we skip to that? And he's like, we have 2 more episodes. And I'm like, but they're 3 hours each. And he's like, but there's 2 more of them. I'm like, but I can't make it through another 20.
Okay. So, thoughts on Men in Our Lives. So Andrew and I still have not finished.
We're not writing podcast anymore.
We're not. No, we're Thoughts on Men in Our Lives. Hello, listener. Welcome to Thoughts on Men in Our Lives.
The new pod coming to you real fast.
So, Andrew and I still have not finished Schitt's Creek, right? We have been on the last season for literal years, right? We didn't get like super into it, clearly. But yeah, we've never finished the season. Something that will drive me batty. I will be like really into a show. I've been waiting to watch it with Andrew because we're watching it together. And then when we finally have time together, I'll be like, hey, do you want to watch this? He's like, I'm not in the mood. Okay.
That's
okay,
me,
that's
though.
fine.
I'm like,
oh my gosh, I know it's you. I recognize this.
The thing is, I could not tolerate this in someone else. If Austin was like this, I would be fucking upset every night. I'd be like, dude, no, I want to watch the thing I want to watch.
I think the same thing is true of Andrew. Like, I think that because like also just like his no all of a sudden becomes like, okay, well, we'll watch something else, right?
Yeah.
And then also I'll be like, well, can I watch this without you? And he's like, no, we're watching it together. Like, I'm gonna murder you, sir. Like,
that is inexcusable, though. If you cannot watch it with me, you have to watch it only with me.
Yes.
Like,
well, and then sometimes he's like, yeah, no, that's totally fine. You can watch it without me. I'm not that interested. But if it is something that like he's into, he's just like, you know, not in the mood for a dramedy or something like that. Like, you know, he's just in a different mood. He wants to watch something else because like he's just in a different mood. But it's just not always convenient for me. Like, sometimes I struggle. But yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's Men in Our Lives.
Men in Our
Kate
Lives.
And Marty.
All right, now back to your regularly scheduled romance writers therapy.
It is not regular ever. She is irregular.
It's not regular. You're irregularly scheduled.
I mean, at least topic is irregular. Anyway,
I mean, the schedule is also definitely very irregular.
Yeah. Listener, I think what we're saying is thank you for sticking in there.
Yeah, no, if you've been here the whole time, my God, you are better at this than I am.
You're a champ. You are. We would have left you a long time ago.
No.
No, but like we've literally been saying that we bail on things for like no reason. No, we would have totally bailed on us.
Austin and I are listening to see, I got him into like the Game Changer and Dimension 20 universe, like all those like things.
Yeah.
And then I kind of left him there because I was like, all right, attention has shifted. And like I still love all that stuff. But like
of course.
Dimension 20 especially is like very like long form, slow moving. Like it's just not paced the same way, and it can't be because you're watching people actually play D&D, and like it is edited. Absolutely. But it's like not so, you know, viciously edited that like it's happening with the kind of quick pacing I think we're accustomed to with regular TV.
Yes.
You know?
Because Andrew and I tried watching it, and like we both were
I can see the struggle.
I think this isn't for us. Like sort of thing.
Yeah, and like they're amazing shows.
They're amazing. Well, and they're amazing at creating a story.
I think a lot of it is that like you probably could condense it down in like a comic book form or something, and it would probably read a whole lot better. But, you know, just because it is all improv. Anyway, if you like Dungeons and Dragons, there's one of the series is Austin's seen like 2 or 3 times now because I keep saying I'm gonna watch this one with you, and then like I watch part of it and then I get bored and then I start doing my own thing and he watches the whole thing and then I'm like, all right, I'm ready for the next episode. He's like, okay, and then he rewatches the whole thing from there.
That is torture. Oh my
like,
god!
No, he's just doing it because he loves the show, and I'm just like, dipping in.
Okay, that's very cute then. Okay. But okay, Kate, what are you doing with your year? We've got year. Yeah.
Well, okay, you mentioned, I think prior to recording, you had felt like you were regressing a little bit as a writer or as a business.
Yeah, I would say my craft is doing really a lot better, right? Like from what I can objectively say.
I felt like it resonated with me a lot because I was like, yeah, if I look at the way I planned out last year, I had 2 anthology stories that I was going to be part of, and I succeeded in that, and then I was in promotions and newsletters, and I did a bunch of things, and I published a book on the schedule that I said I was going to publish it. And like, I was happy to do all that, and like kind of the point of pacing it out the year out like that, I was kind of proving to myself that like this is a workload that I can handle, you know. And this year
kind of just proved to me personally that like this is not a workload that I can handle. It's one thing if it's my only workload, but it's not. And so again, I cut you off. Do you want me to continue?
No, you're so good. You finish your thought.
God, I'm such a bastard. Okay.
Bastard, Marty.
I'm a bastard. Okay. But like,
I'm in love with the way you say that.
It reminds me of the word bastard always reminds me of the IT crowd. Yeah. When Chris O'Dowd goes, "People, what a bunch of bastards."
He does have a pretty great accent.
Oh, he has a spectacular accent. So, what that workload showed me last year was that I can accomplish this it will ruin my brain. If I'm going to accomplish that amount of work, I do not have longevity in this. Does that make sense? And so now upon reflection, I'm probably a much better writer business person because I have a better understanding of who I am and what I should expect myself to do. So being able to do that and then plan properly for like my own mental health is probably a really good move to make. Yeah. Also, if I'm not so overloaded with the producing and output, then I have more mental load to be able to take risks on things. And I think that that is something that's really important to me. Do you want to finish your thought that I so rudely interrupted you with?
No, you bastard.
I'm a bastard. What a bunch of bastards.
My thought was that I'm not doing the same amount that I did last year. I'm doing clearly a different amount of writing. Mm-hmm. God, I don't even know how I would begin to measure how much writing I actually do.
Yeah.
Because like the thing is, when I was writing and editing the Gargoyle story, I was having a blast working on my werewolf thing, and I think I probably wrote 50% of that at that point, like in a couple of months.
Yeah.
It was like, boom, there's a book. And like, I don't know how it happens, but then it's like, all right, now the other half. And then it's like, oh, I have to do this manually. Like, I just can't just like put the autopilot on for this part. Oh, but
I think it probably has to do with the fact that like you have to close the strings. And so now it feels more like balancing.
I'm also trying to like really accept and build it into the way that I work on projects by especially larger things. They need a rest period of like put it away, come back to it with fresh eyes kind of rest period. Uh-huh. And that's like a lot of time that I don't think is really conducive to the indie publishing schedule. And I need to kind of figure out how I want to map things to fit that in. You know, I need to like plan even further ahead. I want to give myself a little slack for this year being kind of a weird, year, just because like the move and renovating the house before, like parts of the house before we like really moved in, and then moving in, and then unpacking and like everything that's been broken in this goddamn house. And like I just want to
like a whole new life experience with a whole new set of stressors.
Yeah, and like the way life can like really knock you off the rails for a while is like something that you have to make room for.
No, I completely agree. Yeah,
but also like I'm doing different things this year. I'm gonna go to my first writing event.
I know, so exciting.
Yeah, besides that, I'm just gonna travel on my own a little more than I normally do. I'm going up to Michigan to see you for the
yes, you concert. Are. I'm so excited. We have to talk about that too. Like what? Like
we need to actually figure out
when you're coming and all that. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. I have a lot of travel anxiety, so I just don't do it normally.
Oh, I know
so like
I didn't know that. Wow, I'm so grateful you're coming.
Literally, if something is like simple as you have to take the train to New York for the day, walk around for like a couple hours, and then come back home. That kind of thing, I will like clench my teeth for the entire week leading up to it. No good reason. Like really? I've done this a million times before.
Because I love traveling. I love getting out of the area.
Can't relate. I'm sorry.
I know. Same though. I can't relate it. I just want to be like, have you ever tried relaxing?
God, I wish. It sounds so nice.
That perfect piece of advice of just calm down.
God, I love it. Right next to it is, have you tried yoga?
Have you tried yoga?
Have you tried yoga?
Meditating.
Have you? It's a fight on site if someone brings up meditation. You're like, no!
Yeah.
No, I'm sure. That, like, I have nothing against the practice of meditation. I'm sure it's great.
But like, I also think that it's specific, right? Like, it's as silly as saying like meditating is like going to be universally helpful. Like, it's not shared in a way that I think can be adapted by everybody, right? Like, I think that there's a form of it that could be healthy for everybody. But like the way it's talked about is like, well, you sit and then you just accept your thoughts and let them pass. And it's like, well, I mean, not everyone can do that. If for one thing, if you tell me to sit with a 5-minute timer going, I'm just gonna be thinking like, how many more seconds do I have? Like, there's no way I can relax with a timer going.
Yeah.
Right?
I think we railed against meditation on a previous episode, honestly. This feels very
Have
familiar.
we really?
It feels very, very familiar.
I was just going to say, we probably should get back on task because, like, we really haven't been on task this whole episode. Mm-hmm.
Oh. I mean, we answered the prompt. We wrote.
I certainly did. Right at the beginning. 3 seconds in. I got a gold star, Kate.
Yeah. You know what?
You were like, here's the problem. Like, watch me go. Anyway.
You know what? That's all we're asking for.
Was there anything else you wanted to say that I could try really hard not to cut you off while you're talking? I could do my goddamn damnedest.
No, you're good. You're for real good. I can't really think of anything.
Listener hates me right now.
No. They could never.
They could never.
It's a package
Especially
deal.
with the way I say bastards.
Bastards!
Yes.
I'm just adding extra letters in now.
There's definitely, like, more throat sound than necessary. But.
Put a little throat on that.
Okay, we want that on a t-shirt now.
Oh.
Okay, Kate.
Yes.
Any other thoughts you have about our loosey-goosey prompt, and if you wanted to share anything else?
I'm trying to remember what the prompt was. It was, what are we doing this year? And how do you feel it's different from other years?
Oh, I did not go into how I feel it's different from other years.
You could if you wanted to. I think I talked about that a little bit. You could do.
Definitely what's different from other years is that I think I have a better understanding of, like, what it means to consider this as a long game, right? And so then creating circumstances around leaving room for my creativity, circumstances around having room for error, you know, like just being a little bit less finish line oriented and being goal oriented instead. Does that make sense?
Okay. No, I like that.
That to me is like the biggest notifier of my perspective switch from this year to like any year before. And yeah, I appreciate it.
It is very different to hear you talking about literally from a few months ago, the way that you've kind of shifted your to see like how that goes, you know?
I am also interested. I knew something had to be different because like coming off of last year, I was having the hardest time getting back into writing. And I didn't like feeling like it was something I had to do.
Yeah.
We had a loss in the family and it just kind of like, it really did shake things up, right? It like very much adjusted some perspective stuff for me. And I want to keep writing for me.
Yeah.
Right? Like I want to share it. That's another part of how I enjoy it. But like,
it's got to be the stuff you enjoy writing.
Yeah. And then also like, it's got to be at a pace that I can participate with. You know, like,
yeah, it's
one thing if I have like, you know, a deadline coming up and so I get extra focused or, you know, it's one thing if I decide next month that like, you know what, I have just been taking too dang long on this. I want it done now. Like, I'm okay with me having that sort of perspective because every time you sit down to do something, you're not going to love it. Right?
Right.
Like that, I just think that's unreasonable to think. So I'm fine doing the work even when I'm not enjoying it. But ultimately, I don't want this to be something that the joy can be taken out of it for me. Yeah, I just have gained that perspective over the past couple of weeks and I don't hate it. And that's how I feel about it. Do you want to give them a piece of writing advice? Is that where we're at?
I guess that's where we're at.
Yeah.
Listener, if you're on a Windows PC, if you hit Shift and Alt at the same time, and then you hit the hyphen key, you'll get an EM dash. You won't have to just go to Google to like copy and paste it. Right? I complained about this on the internet, and then like 20. No, I don't do this. 20 people have told me today that this is actually how I'm supposed to be doing it. Because I was complaining that there was no dedicated EM-key.
Okay, but like if you like do -- and then start writing, it'll just automatically do it for you, won't it?
Sometimes. It really depends on what program you're using. Not every program. You have Scrivener, and Scrivener's fancy, and I'll do that for you.
Okay.
Windows has like a weird set of specification on like a Word document. Google Docs does not abide by it at all. And LibreOffice is, while free, pretty useless, I think. Sorry, I got like some beef with LibreOffice.
Yeah.
I really resented the fact that like they don't have like all the same autocorrect functions and grammar check functions, and they have a really bad formatting issue. Last I used it, like you couldn't copy and paste the format from one paragraph to another easily. Like it was just a whole issue.
My god, that's a nightmare.
Right? Like,
yeah.
And I was like, I can't believe everyone told me with such glowing reviews about this free software. But it's free, so like it's got that going for it.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it does get definitely a level of a pass just for being free.
Yeah.
Okay, so my piece of writing advice. Smash some tropes together that don't really make sense. And see what happens.
I want to get some trope dice, you know? My friend Summer gave me some writing dice, and I'm like so excited to like actually use them, but I have not.
Yeah, that sounds like fun.
Like I don't have a new enough project that I can use them for yet.
That sounds like so much fun. Okay, so Kate, where can they find you?
My website is kate-pryor.com. You can get to my newsletter and all my books from there. If you are in Tennessee, there's going to be a signing in October in Pigeon Forge. So,
in Pigeon Forge, that's just the cutest,
right? Like I love the name.
You're gonna freaking encounter a freaking shifter, like for sure.
Oh my
Pigeon Forge,
Tennessee, pigeon shifters. God. See, no. The thing is, I'm working on Kathy's book like a little bit at a time, and like she's a harpy, but she's half pigeon on her mom's side.
Oh my god, get out. Get the fuck
I'm
out.
like, I'm really
funny.
loving making her a pigeon.
That is so fun. I love that so much.
Right? Like
oh my god.
I'm having a blast with her. I'm like struggling with like what I want the plot to be.
No plots, just vibes. Go with that.
Yeah, it really should be. I should just kind of go back to that.
Okay, so listener, I am at martyv.com. You can sign up for my newsletter and get Hazel and Elijah's prequel. And their book is coming out soon, and I'm very excited. And
I'm so excited for you guys to see the cover on this one.
Gosh, I'm so excited for you guys to see the cover on this one. Like, Kate.
Oh my god.
Kate did a great job. I'm very excited. They're so cute. And then what else do I want to tell you guys? I'm Marty the author on Instagram and TikTok, and maybe you'll see me there. We'll see what happens, you know?
Ooh.
It's cool. Follow your dreams. And mine is to never be online. So that's not true.
Follow Marty on Instagram at least. You might actually see her there.
It's possible. I will definitely respond to DMs. I mean, unless they're creepy. I don't respond to those.
Send Marty creepy DMs.
Oh god. I want to trust that they would send me like fun, cute, creepy ones, but now I'm concerned. I don't know, listener. I don't know you.
I get a lot of tentacles.
Listener. You get a lot of tentacles? That's fucking hilarious. I'm sorry. I don't know why you would get a lot of tentacles. I'm sorry that happens to you, but also, like, why?
Every now and then I add something to my story that gets those in response, and I'm just like, you know what? I did start this.
I did start this. I started this conversation. I did. I'm responsible. Okay.
All right.
But yeah, listener, you're the cutest, and we appreciate you. Thanks for hanging in there with us.
Yeah.
And we'll talk to you next week.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, good night, listener. Good night.
Bye.
Bye.